No, what atheists don't understand is that you don't need to believe in supernatural deities, for example, but to dispense with the values, to say no to the values, and to pull apart the values of Christianity and all religions, or the main religions, to pull the values out of the religious systems and to be non-religious but retain the values is not feasible. That's not feasible. Because the religion and the values are intrinsic to one another, so you can't take the fucking, values like, what are some Christian virtues, like, being, I can't even think right now. Being like, fortitude is one of them, for example. That's a virtue. I had to think real hard on that because I had to remember my Catholic teaching. But, you can't take those values. Those values exist. Like, love is the greatest Christian value. Love. And you can't take love, you can't understand love without, because love by love, love in a materialistic sense, it's like Al Pacino says in The Devil's Advocate. Love is equal to a certain amount of fucking chocolate on the brain, dude. It's oxytocin, so what? But to really understand love in a mythopoetic sense is different, in the sense that it inspires you to do better. You can see love as just, it's just a fucking chemical, but that's what an idiot says, dude. That's what a fucking idiot says. It's just a chemical. Actually, dude, it inspires the fatherland, the motherland of countries, of noble men. None of that would happen without that mythopoetic sense of identity and what it means to love. Don't talk to me about motherfucking chocolate. Shut the fuck up, dude. Goddamn. You want to talk to me about fucking just love's equal to chocolate, like he says smugly in Devil's Advocate. No, it's like you can't divorce the value system from the religion itself. Doesn't mean everyone needs to be a Christian, a Jew, or a Muslim, but they do need to have, I would argue, they would have to have respect for these religions. Because if they don't respect the religions, then they don't respect the nation. And if they don't respect the nation, what the fuck do they respect? They don't respect themselves because they don't respect the nation and they don't respect the religion. You have to have respect for these values. And if you don't respect those values, then that's unpardonable, you could argue. And they can still be an atheist, but they should have fucking respect for these religions. Because if they don't have respect for their religions, then then watch how quickly a society degenerates. I didn't believe in a lot of Christian fundamentalists growing up because they were hypocrites, clearly. But the side of reason is definitely more related to the right wing these days than the left wing, because a lot of the left wing are just pure communists, dude, and you actually get more rational individuals on the right. I thought the right wing was supposed to be the anti-science party when I was growing up, but now if you look at science, it's like they're talking about transgenderism and they want to talk about science. They want to talk about multiple genders and then they want to talk to me about science. They used to harp on Christianity's first of all, the days of the motherfucking Bible, dude, they're not talking about a fucking day is 24 hours around the sun, dude. They were not talking about that. It's they were talking about days as in working days. Working days as, see, they don't understand the language of ancient Greek and ancient Latin, so how the fuck would they know what they're talking about? You have to study the language, dude. You can't just talk to me from a King James version of the Bible, which is from the 16 motherfucking hundreds, motherfucker. And it's like, study some ancient Greek and Latin and Hebrew and Aramaic if you want to fucking talk to me about what these terms mean, motherfucker. Because you're getting a very diluted form of what was originally produced, dude. A very diluted form that had been edited in the same language thousands of times before it became final. So, not even saying anything of the languages themselves that they later became translated into. So use your fucking noggin if you have one. That's what atheists don't understand. It's like, it doesn't mean you can't be a bad Christian. Actually, I would argue that most people are bad Christians, or they certainly weren't good Christians in the sense that, they didn't do a good job defending the religion, because or else left-wing politics wouldn't have been so popular like it became. It wouldn't have become so popular if they were so fucking good at defending the religion. But they weren't. And it's easy to become an atheist because you think of gods and all this shit, and you're like, that doesn't make sense. But it's like, to dispense with the entire religion, you have to understand these things, not in a fucking physical, temporal sense. You have to understand these things in an idealistic sense, and that's what atheists often lose. They don't have idealism. You could argue communism is a form of idealism, but I haven't seen one communist regime, motherfucker, that was grassroots. They're all different forms of authoritarianism. So don't talk to me about fucking communism when basically the idealism is some form of authoritarianism, which it ultimately becomes. I haven't seen one grassroots, for the people, by the people communist movement in history. I haven't seen one. If you can point one out, and I've studied communist regimes, motherfucker, so don't talk to me about what I don't know. Because I do know. I know very much, way more than you do. So don't talk to me about fucking history and political ideologies, because I can school your ass on that subject. I'm a jack of all trades, master of all with them. So,